Hey guys, it's Chris, and today I'm trying something a little different. For the past couple of years, I've been writing a novella, off and on, between working full time and managing this YouTube channel. The book is finally out of the first draft stage, which I wanted to get to before even attempting to talk about anything writing related. Now, I love writing. I've loved it since my freshman year of high school. It's been something that I've wanted to make a living out of for a while. So I think it'd be cool to drop one of these writing-related videos now and then. This is not me turning into an author tuber, because fuck AuthorTube and the horse it rode in on. No, today we're doing a tag video. The Writers Are Weird tag. In truth, I got the idea for doing this from Year of the Author, the only author tuber I find to be intellectually stimulating. So if I can remember, I'll be sure to leave a link to her video on this same subject in the description box below. With out of the way,
let's fucking do this.
question number 1. Do you have bizarre internet searches, and if so, what's the weirdest one? Well, as far as writing is concerned, when you write about subjects you're not familiar with, that usually entails a hefty amount of research. In the case of my novella, I had to research what a person who was high on crystal meth smells like, what a meth lab smells like, because my protagonist Adam spends a large chunk of the book nursing a concussion while carrying on with his goal. I had to research the effects of having a concussion can have on the human body, along with what being pepper sprayed feels like, what being electrocuted with jumper cables feels like, what damage can be done when getting shot in the shoulder from a distance with a shotgun, and how a person recovers from said damage. The weirdest one? I think it's a toss-up between the jumper cables and the general aroma you get from a tweaker. Question number 2. Do you write people you know and dislike into your story as villains or dumb people to kill off? I actually did this in the first chapter of my novella. Not the prologue either, I'm talking chapter 1. I put in a character that bears the last name of a person I do know, who I really dislike, who mistreated myself and close relatives of mine to such an extent that, yeah, he got. Did I enjoy doing it?
You're goddamn right.
Number 3. Does personal hygiene sometimes come second to writing? No. Jesus Christ, no. Wash your shit. You could brainstorm scene ideas in the 10 or 15 minutes it takes to take a shower. Personal cleanliness should never, and the rock means ever, come second to getting in your word count or your page count or whatever. Number 4. Do you go on baby name websites to help name your characters? For this book, I actually didn't. I just kind of pulled names out of the ether. Now, I did have to research surnames, or last names, because my protagonist Adam was originally going to bear the surname Reagan, and out of curiosity, I looked up how often the name is used in media, only to discover the TV series Blue Bloods, a series I've only ever watched in passing here and there, revolves around a family called the Reagans, one of whom is a Danny Reagan. Adam has a son named Daniel, and I wasn't about to change that, so I looked up common Irish surnames to serve as a replacement due to me choosing to give Adam some Irish heritage. What I eventually settled on was the name O'Connell, which, according to the site I found, means strong as a wolf, and settled on that, because it reminded me of Brendan Fraser's character from Stephen Sommers' The Mummy, Rick O'Connell. So Adam and Daniel Reagan became Adam and Daniel O'Connell. That being said, I did not look up common female names from the 2000s when giving Daniel a sister, and decided to just name her Zelda, because Adam, despite being 6'2", 220 pounds of predominant muscle, is also a huge geek. Number 5. Do you have a list of actors and actresses that would play your characters if there was an adaptation made? I tend to assign certain actors' voices to my characters as I'm writing, but I don't have any predetermined list for the off chance of it being adapted for film or television. I think looking ahead to a potential future adaptation is getting a bit too ahead of yourself. To use my work in progress for an example, for Adam, the one I felt best embodied his physical appearance and personality was Alan Ritchson, who is currently best known for his portrayal of Jack Reacher for the Amazon Prime series. The book's antagonist, a pedophilic sex offender named Whistler, based off of Jeffrey Dean Morgan's portrayal of Negan on The Walking Dead. Negan, if he had no moral compass or redemption arc whatsoever, and was just a reprehensible waste of humanity who gets off on harming others, especially children.
This is the kind of thing that just tickles my balls.
Number 6. Have you ever stared at a stranger because they look like one of your characters? In order for that to happen, I'd have to leave my house more often than I do. Generally, I only ever leave to go to work or to go get groceries for the week, and I don't ever people watch when I'm doing either because I'm too focused on doing what I came here for. People just irritate the piss out of me. Number 7. Do you talk to yourself to help work through scenes? If so, where do you talk to yourself? I talk to myself a lot, even when I'm not writing. It's a habit that I've never been able to break since I was a kid. As far as it helping me work through scenes, I do it on occasion. Oftentimes I'll just hit a point where I'll be like, wait a minute, he said this in a previous scene, so this line doesn't make any sense. Or I'll say, you brought this one thing into a previous scene and you've got the chance to use it. Fucking use it. As for where I talk to myself, usually in the shower or at work. I work in a box plant, so people never hear me doing it. Or I talk to myself in my room where I do all my writing. Number 8. While writing, do you make the expressions your characters are making? I'm pretty sure I've never caught myself making the same expressions as my characters. Now, when I'm writing an emotional scene, like one scene between Adam and his daughter around the latter half of the book, I do admittedly find myself choking up or even tearing up due to the circumstances the characters have found themselves in and them needing that one little moment of comfort before the climax hits. Number 9. Do you ever practice answering interview questions in case you make it big? Yeah, I'll admit it, I do this a lot. It's funny, I don't know why, because I know that as soon as the interview starts, I'm going to end up with the kind of diarrhea of the mouth that would make Lanny Serum shit her pants. Maybe I'm just nursing this Arthur Fleck delusion that one day I'll be more articulate-minded than I am today. And finally, number 10. Do you have a soundtrack and or playlist for your book scenes or from your book? It depends on the scene. Some scenes just work better with no music at all, and the ones that I'd want to put music to, it's pretty taxing to try and think of the best possible track for it. Example, there's a car chase early on in my book when Zelda is snatched up by people working for the antagonist, and Adam jumps into his car, fires it up, takes off after the van that Zelda's been thrown into. Adam had left the radio on prior to leaving his car in the previous chapter, tuned to the local metal station, and the scene as I pictured it, as soon as the engine kicks on, the radio starts blasting Judas Priest's Ram It Down. I didn't write it into the scene because I felt it was relevant information, and I typically try to write as economically as possible. So that's what I've got for this video. If anybody watching this is also interested in writing, I'd like to know your responses to these questions in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.